honored God with my body, and in return, He had blessed me with a love story written by His hands. And as Elijah took my hand, I stepped into the beautiful future God had designed just for us.
Our topic today is why you should wait for marriage, a biblical perspective, child of God. If you are in any relationship or you are about to get into any, listen to this massage to guide you about God's plan for His children. At the end of this video, I will give you the keyword that will help you to avoid breakup, divorce, and heartbreak. In today's world, relationships outside of marriage have become common, but as Christians, we must follow God's design. Key question: what does the Bible say about relationships, sex, and living together before marriage? 1. God's design for relationships and marriage, Genesis 24. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. Marriage is God's design for a man and a woman to come together. Relationships should be leading toward a godly marriage, not just for personal pleasure or convenience. 2. No sex before marriage. 5-7 Menir, 1 Corinthians 6:18-20. Flee from sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexually immoral person sins against his own body. Sexual purity is a command from God, and engaging in premarital sex is against His will. Hebrews 13:4. Marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. 3. Living together before marriage is a sin. 5 Min. 1 Thessalonians 4:3-5. It is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality, that each of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in passionate lust like the pagans who do not know God. Cohabitation before marriage creates temptation and leads to sin. Ephesians 5:3. But among you there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality, or of any kind of impurity or of greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. 4. The consequences of disobedience. Galatians 6:7-8. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Premarital sex and living together lead to broken relationships, emotional pain, and separation from God. Sin has real consequences, both spiritually and emotionally. 5. The blessing of waiting. Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. God blesses those who honor Him with obedience. A godly relationship is built on trust, faith, and purity. Waiting for marriage leads to a stronger, more fulfilling relationship. Many have been asking me about my name. I am Pastor John Michael from God's Own Church International, located at the United States of America. Feel free to ask any question right at the comment section. Let's listen to one of the story of my daughter in Christ, who is privileged to wait for God perfect time.
My promise to God. From the moment I understood what it meant to honor God with my body, I made a vow, one that many thought was impossible to keep. My purity is not a burden, it's a gift, I would often remind myself. Growing up in a small town, I saw many of my friends give in to the pressures of the world. Some did it for love, others out of curiosity, and a few because they feared losing someone special. But I knew my worth wasn't found in a fleeting romance. My heart belonged to God first, and I wanted to wait for the man He designed just for me. That didn't mean the journey was easy. There were days when loneliness crept in like a shadow, whispering doubts in my ear. What if you never find him? What if you're being unrealistic? Then there were the guys, the charming ones who promised forever but only wanted a moment. You're beautiful, Naomi. Why wait? One asked. His eyes filled with frustration when I turned him down. Because I'm worth waiting for, I replied, my voice steady though my heart raced. College came, and with it, even more temptations. I watched my friends go on dates, fall in love, and some, unfortunately, experience heartbreak. I prayed, I cried, and I reminded myself that I wasn't waiting just for a man. I was waiting in obedience to God. And then, when I least expected it, I met Elijah. It was at a church conference, a gathering I almost skipped because I was exhausted from schoolwork. But God had a plan. From the moment we spoke, I knew He was different. He didn't just respect my values, he shared them. Our friendship blossomed into something deeper. He never pressured me, never made me feel like my convictions were a burden. Instead, he walked the journey with me, praying with me, reminding me why I made my vow in the first place. Years later, as I stood in my wedding gown, looking into Elijah's loving eyes, I knew I had made the right choice. Every tear, every lonely night, every prayer had led me to this moment. As we exchanged vows, I whispered a prayer of gratitude. I had honored God with my body, and in return, he had blessed me with a love story written by his hands. And as Elijah took my hand, I stepped into the beautiful future God had designed just for us. A message to every young woman, to every girl out there who is wondering if waiting is worth it, let me tell you, it is. Honoring God with your body isn't about following rules, it's about trusting his plan for you. The world may tell you that purity is old-fashioned, that love doesn't wait. But I am here to tell you that the love God has for you does wait. The right man, the one he has prepared for you, will honor your convictions, respect your boundaries, and cherish you for who you are, not just for what you can give. By honoring God, you protect yourself from unnecessary heartbreak, soul ties, and regrets. You walk in confidence, knowing that you are waiting for a love that is real, pure, and God-ordained. And when that love finally arrives, it will be worth every moment of patience and obedience. So, my dear sisters, stand firm, trust God. Your story is still being written, and I promise, his plans are always worth the wait. God's time is the best.
Your support matters. With 90% of our viewers yet to subscribe, we need your help to keep creating engaging content. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let us know where you're watching from. Leave your city in the comments.